Hey, everybody, what's going on? I'm Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your celestial wisdom for the week of April 3rd through the 10th. And this is going to probably feel like a very interesting week for all of us because we have kicking off on Monday, April 4th, Mars canoodling with Saturn. Now, they're in the sign of Aquarius, which has to do a lot with collective energy, rebellion, liberation, freedom. But there's also a structure here, a structure of the mind that's indicated. Now, I'll get into that for a second, but I also want to point to the fact that Mars and Saturn are considered in ancient times to be quote unquote malefic or negative planets. However, there's a light and shadow to everything. So the thing with Mars, I pointed this out before, Mars is the Roman god who also was the protector of the community. So Mars and Aquarius, Aquarius being very communal and all about the social structures and circles, Mars can actually protect us as a collective. And Saturn is the planet of karma, the planet of discipline. Also, of course, Saturn was a planet that has a lot to do with coldness because it's the furthest planet that we can see without the telescope, and it has nothing warm about it. However, Saturn also gives us structure, and if we can use Saturn in a positive way, it can help us to find the gifts after we've gone through the discipline, the testing. So many people look at Saturn and go, because when I use the word karma, right, we talk about testing. And so many people get afraid of the testing. However, think of it this way, testing gives us data points that we can use. Now, what does all this mean for us? This is a very collective time. Some of us may feel it individually simply because we're tuned into the collective, but most likely look at what's happening in the world. We know what's happening with Russia, Ukraine. This could be a very intense time where fear and passion come into play, and yet after that conflict, peace could occur. And there also could be threats of lockdowns at this time. Now, what I intuitively sense with this being in Aquarius is that the lockdown may be more on a technological aspect. There could be a cyber attack. There could be where countries are now going to close off Russia to more of the technological, social media, that sort of thing, possibly. How it could affect us personally. We may feel like we're trying to get something done that day and fear takes over that we won't be able to do it because we're being blocked. But if we can tap into that Mars and Saturn energy that says, you know what, that's just an obstacle that I can get around, over, through, whatever, then it can actually benefit us and we can use it in a really cool way. An opportunity to pause and redesign a system that isn't working. So if you feel like you're slowing down for this moment in time, go back and review and see, okay, what system in my life, what processes may not be serving me anymore? Let me see if I need to redo it. We could be fighting for freedom using our ideas, our visions, anything intellectual here with this Aquarian energy. And so doing so, you may be the voice for somebody who needs a voice, who doesn't have one. You know, I think of that underdog, somebody who may be oppressed, that they don't have the resources in which they can fight for themselves or they can stand up for themselves. So here you come and you're ready to offer whatever they need. We also are reminded that our mind is our biggest weapon or our tool. And the magic can happen when we gather under a common purpose. So if you get frustrated at the beginning of the week because people are, you're feeling blocked at whatever might be, come back to a common purpose, come back to the higher vision. It's easy to get caught in the personal ego moments when it's like, I have an agenda and I want to get this done. Yes, you can still have your agenda, but as they say, many hands make light work. We can feel liberated and empowered to think and act in new and possibly unconventional ways during this time. So let's use this as an opportunity to see a better future for ourselves and for our loved ones, and then use this energy at the beginning of the week to put some steps in place in order to reach it. Just the next day, Venus, our planet of love, beauty, values, finances, romance, art. She is moving into her exalted sign of Pisces. She loves being there. This brings in a very dreamy, romantic quality for all of us. And we may be looking, while Venus is transiting through Pisces, for soulful, mystical, meaningful connections that way. We want spiritual love. We may, whether we're bonded or we're single, we're going to be looking for that connection from universal wisdom, universal love. Idealism may show up in regards to love or finances. So definitely make sure that you give yourself a little bit of space and grace. If you go on a retail shopping spree, a little retail therapy can come into play during this time. Just make sure you check back with your resources to see if it supports you. And anything that is poetic and romantic of nature can produce some very inspirational pieces of art, whether we're talking writing art or we're talking canvas art or just this beautiful art from storytelling. I would imagine there's going to be quite a few things being released out into the public that are romantic of nature. And this is a time where we can find ourselves easily attracting all kinds of energy to us, financial, romantic, relationship-wise, that just comes naturally. It flows. It's in the water sign of Pisces. So if we stay in the flow and we don't get, consternated by collapsing the field. And what I mean is that we get fixed on a particular outcome and we lose our possibilities. We lose letting the universe decide how something's going to show up. So we can, make our vision board, set our intentions, whatever it might be, because we're coming off that new moon in Aries, right? That was last week. But we set our intentions. If we don't get fixed on, I want that and it has to show up in this way or that person, then the universe can just flow gently and naturally to us the things that we are intending or that we're wanting that's close to our hearts. I'm even going to say the mermaids and mermen will be abundant during this time. So if you love mystical creatures like I do, Pegasus and dragons and things like that, this is a great time for you to connect with those spirit animals, those totems, those mystical energies. And a lot of symbolism will come in. Your dream state is still going to be pretty active during this time. And you could find solutions to answers. You can find connection with a beloved if you dream together, and not just sleep dreaming. You talk about your vision, you talk about your dream, you paint a pretty picture. It's fun to escape, because here's the thing. If you want to keep a relationship desirable, Esther Perel talks about this, there needs to be some spaciousness and there also needs to be some fantasy that comes in. And yes, sometimes the reality isn't as good as the fantasy, but we need imagination in order to create reality. So tap into the imagination, let yourself get involved with it and connect with people and things. I will even say, some of you, if you believe in the different dimensions, this is a great time to play around with 5D, 3D, 10D, and just see who you connect with, what drops in, what kind of downloads you get. It's a great time for any psychic or intuitive work that you might want to do. You can draw to you some new clients this way, or opportunities to share your gifts. This is a give and take time, and it should be a really nice feeling. Mercury moves into the sign of Taurus on April 10th. So Sunday, Monday, Mercury will move out of Aries, where our minds have probably been pretty sharp, maybe our tongues too. We've made some pretty impulsive decisions with Mercury in Aries. Now we get a chance to slow down, reevaluate it, now that we've taken some action, we can make adjustments along the way, and we can have some real good thought processes around how we want to structure certain things in our lives. And so if Venus is drawing to you a romantic partner or a financial opportunity, now you can start planning a future, putting some steps in place. The resources are here. You may be thinking about that. How can I gather more resources so that I can initiate and I can implement all these ideas and dreams that I have? And, also, Mercury in Taurus is a great listener. So if you are needing to really listen deeply, whether to your own inner wisdom or you want to support somebody, maybe you're in that kind of healing field where you have to listen a lot, this is a beautiful opportunity to do that and to actually put some practical pieces in place. and get if it's not you that's doing the listening and putting those steps in place, maybe drawings to you somebody who can help you do that. It's a great time to look for that professional that will be willing to say, hey, I want to mentor you, I want to coach you, I want to do therapy, whatever it might be, and let's get a program together that helps you be successful at this time. Okay, you guys, this is just a little taster. I know it's very individual depending on what's happening in your life. So if you want something more customized for you, you want to know what's happening personally, come find me at jamiedawn.com. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and thank you so much for your love and support for these videos in this channel. All right, you guys, have such a great week.